I heard a gospel song. I don't remember all of the words, but I do remember these words from the gospel song. The words were, "Follow Jesus, take no chance." Say that with me. Follow Jesus, take no chance. In other words, follow the God idea, follow the good idea, follow the master idea, follow the idea of your divine sonship, follow the idea, the consciousness of who you are in God and who God is in you. And be so busy following Jesus that the negatives of the world will mean nothing and have no power in your life. When you get so mixed up in negatives, it means that you need to get your mind back to following Jesus. There's another old spiritual that says something like, I have decided to follow Jesus. I won't turn back. I won't turn back. The world behind me, the cross before me. I won't turn back. I won't turn back. And so the mind has to make a decision. The mind has to make a decision as to what idea shall be master. Ask yourself this question and put it on paper. What is my master idea? What is my master self-image? What is my master belief? What idea of myself am I following? What conviction am I following? Am I following the idea, the belief that I am the Christ, the Son of the living God? Am I following the idea of divine sonship, that I am God's child? Am I following that idea? For if I follow that idea, again, the negatives of the world will mean nothing. Matthew, the will faculty of the mind, is called to follow the will of God, the will of good. And I must follow the idea that God's will for me is good. So say with me, I follow the idea, the belief, the conviction that God's will for me is good. Now, there can't be any wishy-washy pussyfooting about this. And as simple as it sounds, it may surprise you to know that a lot of people really don't have it settled in their minds that the will of God for them is good. Some people believe that it's the will of God for them to be sick, for them to be poor. Well, if you follow that idea, it will lead you according to its nature, and you will get results according to its nature. So every one of you say, I follow the idea that God's will for me is good. Total good. Perfect good. The statement from Jesus, it is not God's will for you to be sick. It is not God's will for you to be poor. It is not God's will for you to be downtrodden. And you had better discipline your mind to follow this idea. Everybody's following some idea. Everybody's got a master idea or a master self-image of himself in his mind. And you'd better be sure that your master idea is the positive one, the divine one, the Christ one. Matthew is called to follow and serve the will of the master mind. He leaves tax gathering and joins the Father's business. Now, that Matthew was a tax gatherer when Jesus called him indicates some facet of the mind trying to manipulate the world for its good. And this tells us that we must leave manipulating the world for our good and instead turn to following Jesus, following the will of God to receive our good. This is very important because I'll tell you, boy, if you get out there trying to manipulate the world, it will put you through hell. And out there in the world, that's the way it goes. People just manipulating one another. I twist your arm and you twist my foot. And people trying to get the best of each other. The mind must be called from manipulating the world for its good and disciplined, trained to follow the will of God, the will of good. Say with me, I don't have to manipulate the world for my good. You see, again, the mastermind says, come unto me, all you that labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn of me. For I am meek and lowly in heart. My yoke is easy, my burden is light, and you'll find rest unto your souls. And the great secret, the wonderful secret is that it is so easy to receive our good once we understand the kingdom of God and his righteousness. What's the hardness about all of this? Maybe it's hard to learn that it's so easy. That's really the only hard thing about this, is that it's hard to learn that it's so easy. Now, really, that's it. It's hard to convince the carnal mind that it does not have to twist arms and do somersaults and under the table and dog eating dog. And it's hard to break all of those old habits that are contrary to the will of God or the will of good. But the actual receiving of good itself is easy. The master says again what? My yoke is easy, my burden is light. But the hard thing again, to put it another way, is just convincing folks that it's so easy. It's hard even convincing, as I say, the mind that has been trained in the world system. The hardness is to get the mind to study and to change its patterns. So all of the hardness that we encounter, remember that the hardness itself isn't necessary in and of itself. It's not the hardness that does the work. And when you find what you're looking for, the first thing you're going to find is that it's easy. Wow! Say with me, when I find what I'm looking for, the first thing that I find is that it's so easy. As someone else has said, in spiritual science, in mind science, whatever you want to call it, you work to learn that you don't have to work. Isn't that easy? You work to learn that the work is already done. Isn't that something? Even in the old Christian theology, the work is already done. In the old Christian theology, the song says, Jesus paid it all. And this is the great paradox. And in my own life, I've always discovered that whenever I got what I really wanted, and sometimes it seemed like such a roundabout, difficult way, when it actually happened, it was so easy. I never got anything breaking my head, except to learn that I didn't have to break my head. And then when I learned that I didn't have to break my head, it happened so easily. Say with me again, and this is the mastermind teaching us, my yoke is easy, my burden is light. All right. As is my style, I want to be purposely redundant and repetitious, because repetition is one of the laws of learning. So I want you to notice again that not only is Matthew called to follow the will of God, the will of good, but Matthew is called from manipulating the world. You see, there's some of you here right now, you have been just manipulating the world all that you know how. There's something you've been after. Boy, you have been manipulating the world. You have been manipulating everybody. Now, watch yourself. And if you ever catch yourself actually trying to manipulate, say to yourself real quickly, follow me. Follow Jesus. So this is the meaning, a part of the meaning, and it's very important, of the calling of the disciple Matthew. We must call the mind from trying to manipulate the world for its good.